So, Nancy, something that I've admired about you for a long time is that you are really clear about your leadership and its purpose in our world. Will you tell listeners what is the purpose of your leadership?
Yeah, thanks for that question, Amy. So, the purpose of my leadership, Amy, is to serve and inspire others to take intentional action to create and live a successful, abundant, and meaningful life.
Ah, I get goosebumps every time you say that, and I know you live it. I've been the recipient of your service and your empowerment through connections and information. Um, you are tuned into not only communities but
Mhm.
individuals,
Mhm.
right? I
Yeah.
mean, you recognize to really serve and empower, you need to know what's going on with the individual. Where are they at? What do they need? And I know you think about that relationship. What needs to be present in order for you to live that purpose?
Yeah, that's a great question. What for me, what needs to be present really is authenticity and truth. Brene Brown, I think, has a saying or believes that being authentic is being able to stand in your own truth. And I think that as a leader, if you expect others to show up as, their best selves, you really need to show up as your authentic self and to really inspire people to, you know, come as they are to create a space for people, at work and in your life where they can come and be seen and heard without any shame or judgment or fear or regret. And I think that for me, that's what's most important is being able to show up as my authentic self all the time.
Lovely. I couldn't agree more, Nancy. Anything we could say about how to foster that? I mean, obviously, we can show up
Yeah.
as our authentic selves. We can, like, not shame, be
Right, right.
open, listen. Is there anything you would add to that? Like, how do we encourage others to show up authentically?
Yeah, it's a great point. I think that the three things that come to mind as a servant leader, as a servant leader, people, from my perspective, they want to know three things about you that will really foster their ability to show up as their authentic selves. And that is, the first is really is they want to know, do you care about me? Then they want to know,
Mhm.
can you help me?
Mm,
And then most important is they want to know, can you trust me? And those things all take time to really foster and to you have to nurture those things. And I think once people get a sense that you care, that they can trust you, that you can help them,
mhm.
that will create kind of an environment or a sense that they can show up as their authentic selves and not be judged and not be shamed. I
Yeah.
think that those are really important, qualities that a leader needs to, again, foster and to cultivate on their teams or individuals or wherever you are serving.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think how important it is when, or what a difference it makes when that is our intention and
Yeah.
approaching the relationship, the conversation, right? I feel it from you, Nancy, and did from the moment we first met,
Hmm.
right? That care, right? Like, you were gonna sit down and take the time with me to
Yeah.
find out who I was, what was going on, and how you could help.
Yeah. I think, Amy, I go back to something that happened to me, decades ago. There was a mentor in my life, an entrepreneur who had hired me decades ago, and he said four words to me that really just changed the trajectory of my own journey, my own professional journey, as well as my personal journey. And
Okay.
those four words were, I believe in you.
Ooh, yeah.
And and when you can have that kind of impact on someone with just 4 words, you know, it's just it can be life changing. And I think that, caring for others is
Mhm.
just part of who I am, and wanting to see people succeed in life, not just at work, but in all aspects of their lives, is just core to who I am. So,
Yeah, yeah. And how rewarding and what an honor to be that person in people's lives.
yeah, I count it is a blessing to me when I can have impact, when I can use my influence to help others, not only to say to them that I believe in you, but to see when they believe in themselves, when they the one of the most rewarding actions I can see is when people become more self-confident, when they become more self-aware, when they begin to believe in their own worth.
Mhm.
That is so rewarding.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Everyone, we are talking to Nancy Rizzuto today. She is an accomplished entrepreneur, speaker, philanthropist, mentor, and faith-filled action leader with over 30 years of leadership experience. She's a founding partner and principal of Strat, an independent fiduciary investment advisory firm that she launched in 2003 with her two partners. She's also founder of the Strat Women's Forum, a community created in 2015 to support the personal, professional, and financial success of women. Nancy's purpose, which she lives every day, we've already heard it, is to serve and empower others to take intentional action to live a successful, abundant, and meaningful life. She's fiercely committed to educating and empowering others, especially women, to own their voices, to act on their power, and to attain financial freedom so they can live the life of their dreams and create a meaningful legacy. Ah, thank you so much for being here, Nancy. And I mean, I feel that commitment all the time from you. So there's
Thanks, Amy.
probably so much that you could do to live that purpose.
Mhm. Mhm.
How do you focus? How do you decide where to spend your time and effort?
Well, I think for me, it's really about self-awareness and taking action each and every day. I am really mindful of leading by example, um, e- both, here in my community, in our firm, through our women's forum. And, I believe that, yeah, I strongly believe that women have to support other women. And any opportunity that I have to support someone else, and especially women, I am game for. And I have to be mindful, though, Amy, that even if I'm not the right fit, or I can't offer immediate support, or they need something other than what I can offer, I am always game and invested in that individual, and will go and find another resource or an accountability partner or some type of solution that I can offer to them, or at least point them in the right direction. When I was years ago, decades ago, in a global financial services firm, I asked 2 women to mentor me, and I was told no. And that made such an impact on me, and I think that that truly has to change. And as a leader, you know, no may not be right now. But it doesn't have to be a solid no. No, it may not be the right time now, but come back to me in 6 months. Or no, I'm not the right resource. Let me introduce you to Amy. She's a better fit for you. So
Mhm.
I really look at it as, from a servant perspective, how can I help? I
Yeah.
may not be able to solve the entire problem, or I may not be the right fit, but at least I can offer some type of authentic
Mhm.
support to help that
Mhm.
individual.
I love it, Nancy. It's what can I do? rather
Exactly.
than what can't I do? Because I imagine there could be times your mentoring plate is full. I know you're always creating and generating a list of events to support
Mhm.
and build skills for women through Capstrat Women's Forum. Right, there's a lot on your plate.
Right.
And some, right. And sometimes there might not be the time and the effort, right? I don't have the time and the effort to do it well. And here's what I can offer.
Exactly. And I think, for me, it comes back to the whole serving and empowering aspect. And I consider it an honor to be able to help people. And it's something that I am so very grateful for and so very mindful about, that we have to step up because everyone has something that humanity needs. I may not be your right resource, but I can offer you again that support. I can help inspire action. But if you offer somebody a no, I don't think that is the right response in any situation.
Lovely, lovely. It's just lovely who you are, Nancy, and that this is your commitment in our world, and you're so clear about it.
Yeah.
How did you arrive at this? Right? Like, how did you know this is your purpose to fulfill in our world?
Yeah, I think that it came to me, to be honest with you. I think it really was inspired and came to me through my mother, whose life was, based on three core values. My mother was a woman who lived her life based on her faith, based on her sense of gratitude. She had such a strong sense of gratitude. She was grateful just every day to be alive and to be, using her own gifts and her own skills in the world. And then also her sense of optimism.
Mm,
And those are three values that, have are really embedded in who I am. And I think that my, purpose legacy came to me simply because I want to serve, because I think my I am on this earth for a purpose. And when I leave this earth, I want to leave it better than when I found it. And I want to be part of something bigger than myself. And those are all kind of, you know, I don't mean them to sound trite, but I truly believe that I was put here for a purpose to make the lives of other people better. And I can do that in a whole host of ways. And when we talk about, or when I talk about support,
mhm,
support can be a kind word. Support can be, um, you know, um, you know, sh sh praising somebody. Support can be, hey, there's a job opening, or support can be, yes, I'd be happy to mentor you, or here's an open board seat, or let me listen to you. Support
mhm.
earlier was an offer to a friend of mine who was going for a breast biopsy. So support can be seen in so many different ways. And I think that is support and service are just really what my life is about these days. How can I serve and empower others? Is just who I am. It is a mindset of how I live.
Yeah, yeah. I think right there can be so beneficial for all the leaders listening. Just the range of ways that support can look, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
not not every leader out there is going to have a leadership purpose, which I call a leadership legacy,
Hmm.
right? Something that we're living into and constantly leaving behind. And
Yeah.
like you say, it's like this bigger picture commitment that calls us to be bold, to be
Yeah.
extraordinary, right? Like to show up in a bigger way.
Hmm. Yeah.
um, Kind of get over some of those natural human considerations and concerns that our brain kicks up for us. But not every team leader, not every leader out there is going to have a leadership legacy like yours, Nancy.
Mhm.
Yet there's an aspect of your leadership legacy that probably all people leaders, at least, want to tune into, that being able to empower others,
Mhm.
create meaningful work, right? It's so important right now.
Mhm.
What would you offer to people leaders? What can they do to empower and ensure that the folks on their team have meaningful work?
I th for yeah, for me, it's really about creating opportunity for people, creating a belief in, others, but really and opening doors and giving them, exposure to opportunities within their company or within their community or being able to serve on a team. But again, it really goes back to also not putting people out there solo, but being sure that there is an infrastructure, that there is a team, a community around, people within your firm to support them. And again, it's just for me, it's trusting in people. It's in demonstrating your faith and your, your appreciation of their ability, but really, give people an opportunity. Let people step up, even if they may not check all of the boxes. Give them the opportunity to learn and to grow and to expand into a role or into their firm or into their team. I think if you just, kind of keep them where they are and not amplify their own presence and their own skills, that's not serving anyone. Part of I think a leader's um, uh, experience is really being able to foster growth and development in others. And the way that, from my perspective, the way that you do that is really to give people opportunity. See that there is more, that there's more opportunity for them to serve, more opportunity for them to have an impact, more of them, they can have an opportunity to lead a team or a project. I think that that's really important as a leader. And if people aren't, if, sure of how to make that happen, it's really just taking a first step, sitting down with somebody on your team and, trying to get to know them better, trying to uncover what they're passionate about or what they're interested in doing or how they envision their own professional development so that you can then identify those opportunities in which they can flourish.
Yeah. Love it, Nancy. You said so many good things there, right? Give them the opportunity. So that's
Mhm.
telling me also that we want to be constantly looking,
Yeah,
right? What might be possible? What could we get them more involved in? Ooh, I see that skill. I see that strength. I see that
right,
interest of theirs. How can we foster that? How can we
right.
give more opportunities for that? So giving the opportunity, and then I'm hearing the trust and the appreciation, right? We can't give the opportunity and then be like, "Oh, that's not working. Okay, I'm gonna
No,
micromanage or I'm gonna jump in."
no. You,
Right?
I think as a leader, really your part then is to really to encourage and to offer, feedback, that constructive feedback and truthful feedback. And that comes again also based on trust. But you're there really to act as a sounding board, to empower them, to encourage them, to offer that candid feedback that is there to help them grow and to learn and to, grow into other opportunities. I think that is your role as a leader once you identify an opportunity for somebody on your team. Be sure that you continue to be there as a partner to them, that they can come to you and have those candid conversations, and that you can continue to encourage and empower them.
Yeah. Oh, so many leaders become afraid of the feedback, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
we're the leader that is giving somebody a new opportunity to leverage a strength or pursue a passion or just
right,
try something new, right? And we're providing that opportunity, that visibility, right?
exactly.
They're gonna be open to the feedback from us because they know the intention,
Yep,
right?
Yep.
They know the attention that it's coming from.
Yeah, that's a great point, Amy.
Yeah. I think it's also important, Nancy, that you were talking about the infrastructure, right? How to also thinking if we're going to give somebody this opportunity, it's also thinking about how to set them up for success.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then, accountability is really important.
Mhm.
When you give somebody an opportunity or you allow someone to lead, an assignment, whatever it might be, you just don't give them that opportunity or assign them that role. You really need to hold them accountable. And I think being accountable, especially as a professional, is really important. You become part of a network, you become part of a success story, and accountability is key. You just can't let somebody go off kind of on their own without having that infrastructure or that network or that resource for them to check in with you and you with them. Giving you giving them that opportunity. There's also accountability there that you, again, going back to what we were talking about a moment ago, your accountability is really about encouraging, empowering, inspiring, being there to answer questions and offer, ideas and insights from your own experience, but also they have to be accountable back to you.
Oh, I hope everybody tuned in to your expanded definition and thoughts around accountability.
Yeah, I
That
think
term
it's key.
that term can get a bad reputation, right? Like it's follow up and it's bringing the hammer and it's making sure people are meeting expectations. But I heard inside what you were saying, it's part of the support. It's part of
Yeah,
the infrastructure. How are we going to check in, right? Like what reviews do you want to need on the work, right? And
right.
also that accountability is empowering because we're going
Very,
to count
yeah.
on you to do these things.
And
Right.
and I think that gives people ownership. It also inspires ownership. If you give somebody this opportunity, you expect them to take ownership of it. And I think that when you do that, it really inspires action. It inspires people, I think, to really show up and step up for you, back to you as a leader, for themselves, for the organization. And it just really fosters, tremendous personal and professional growth, I think.
Yes. Yes. It's all fostering growth and development.
Exactly.
Nancy, do you have an example that you could share with us?
Um, Sure. One of the things I think about in terms of, offering opportunity is in our firm, we have what we call a culture club, which is something that we started I think about 4 years ago,
Nice.
way back when. And it's all about, the principles, the beliefs, and the behaviors that we at Capstrat live by, both as professionals and as people outside of what we do.
Yeah.
And we call our culture club Doesn't Matter, Get Better. In every
Doesn't
um
matter, get
does,
better.
doesn't matter, get better. And again, our firm has a very defined set of principles, beliefs, and behaviors. And so every Friday we get together and we talk as a firm wide, for a half hour about certain aspects of our culture, whether that's, gratitude or client service or the importance of communication or the importance of owning your 20 square feet. There is something that we talk about, mandatory, every Friday. And here's an example is we give ownership, and allow our associates, the junior partners, to lead those programs. This is not, the founding partners kind of dictating and leading this program. We give ownership to others in the firm to pick a topic and to do the research and to provide a learning plan and a learning lesson and questions, reflection questions. We give them out on one Friday and then we come back and talk about it the following Friday. And it's been remarkable, Amy, to see how they have, again, stepped up how
Mhm.
they have owned this opportunity. But what's more important is to see how the lessons that we talk about and the topics that we talk about, again, impact them personally, but also when they leave the office, that these are a set of principles, values, and beliefs that they're now talking about at the dinner table with their families, or they're thinking about how they respond to a client differently, or how they respond to their children differently. So it's, I think that that's an example of, giving others opportunity, that this is not just about us, this is about everyone in the firm. And so every Friday, one or two of our associates lead that program.
Love that. Love
Yeah.
that. And like there's a context here, but you're letting people pick
Yeah,
their opportunities. You're giving them opportunity and they have choice around that. Super
totally. Hmm.
empowering.
Hmm.
Love
Yeah,
it.
and they've done a great job, really. I've learned probably so much from them over these last 4 years.
Yeah. And when you are co-creating like that just creates a high level of trust.
Oh, absolutely. It creates a high level of trust. It really energizes the entire firm. It is, they come with such intentionality and their own purpose, during these programs. And again, it really seeps out to them as, as individuals, and impacts how they're living their own lives outside of the office. And that's what one of the things that's most important is, that we want them showing up as their best selves in the office, but we also want them showing up as their best selves out of the office and in life.
Yeah.
And when we have that kind of an impact and allow them to take ownership of something so important, it's it's just really amazing to see.
When we're great at home, when we're great with our family
Yeah,
members, when we're great with our neighbors, then we're also
exactly.
great at work. We're
Ex
great with our clients. And I know, Nancy, you have known that and practiced that
Totally.
for decades. The experience of the pandemic is hopefully bringing that more front and center for everyone. Like we are whole people, and as leaders in the workplace,
Yeah.
we need to serve the whole person.
Absolutely. That's a great point. It's just it's so, and again, when you see, children being impacted by these conversations and how we're responding within, with our spouse or our partners or whatever, you just, the self-awareness is just so remarkable to see. And yeah, I truly believe if you have people who are healthy and happy and anchored and grounded at home, and they will show up that way in the office and to one another and to our clients. And, that's just so meaningful.
Yeah, yeah. And I can hear, and I know the listeners can hear, when you are serving and
Hmm.
empowering others,
Hmm.
right? Like what you get in return,
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
that reward, the just to be able to see the ripple effects.
Yeah.
When one individual is showing up great in our world for the day, that impacts so many.
So many people. If one person has a bad day or one person has a bad reaction, um, that's a different story. But when somebody shows up present, you know, you use this word intentional, with gratitude, um, that just emanates out and just really impacts so many other people, whether that's, the person at the Dunkin' Donuts line or your client or your child. It is, and that's just, I think, how we need to live more authentically, and just really need to be aware of how our actions, you know, whether small or just, tremendous, how our actions and our beliefs impact other people.
Yes. Yes. Oh, powerful. Nancy, you've shared so much great stuff with us. I want to recap just a few things. Um, Leaders, when you're looking to serve and empower others, they want to know that you care. They want to know how you can help. They want to know that you trust them, that there's trust there.
Hmm.
Nancy also talked about being on the lookout for the opportunities that we can give and invite people to step into. And
Hmm.
then once we do that, showing up with the appreciation, the
Right.
trust, the infrastructure, the support, setting them up for success, and bringing that empowering accountability
Hmm.
to the situation. Right. And oh, and it takes getting to know them and their vision and what they're about, right? It's taking
So
time,
true.
people.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Such great stuff, Nancy. Thank you for your time today and for being on the Courage of a Leader podcast.
Amy, thanks so much for having me, and cheers to you and congratulations on the success of your podcast and your book. And I think you know my two favorite words for you are just keep going. You are offering your own service and serving, others. And I'm grateful and honored to be a part of the Courage of a Leader.
There's Nancy always living her leadership purpose. It's an honor, and my energy has gone up over this past half hour. Thank you.